Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're cracking open Leviticus. Leviticus 22, specifically. We're going to explore holiness and reverence as understood in ancient Israel. You might be surprised by how much these really old ideas still, well, resonate today.
I know what you mean. It's easy to just kind of dismiss those practices as, outdated rituals. But if we look a little deeper, we can uncover some pretty fascinating insights into human nature and into the timeless search for meaning and a connection to something bigger than ourselves, really.
Exactly. Leviticus 22 is all about drawing lines, setting the sacred apart. It outlines specific rules, especially for the priests, the folks entrusted with, well, handling sacred offerings and leading rituals,
Yeah.
right? And those rules, especially the ones around purity, they can seem a bit intense at first glance.
Yeah, for sure. There were very specific things that could make a priest temporarily unclean so they couldn't do their duties. Things like coming into contact with a dead body or even having certain skin conditions.
So it wasn't just about showing up in the right robes. They had to be in a specific state of being, physically and ritually.
Precisely. It was all about intentionality and creating a sense of separation, reverence for the sacred. Those rules weren't just random, they had a purpose. Think about it this way. Preparing for something important, like, say, a wedding or a big presentation, we often have our own rituals, right? Choosing specific clothes, practicing what we're going to say, or even meditating to clear our minds. These actions help us get ready, mentally and emotionally, for the importance of the occasion. In a similar way, the priest's purification rituals help them approach their duties with the right mindset, honoring the sacredness of their role.
Okay, I've started to see the connection. It's about creating a mental space,
Yeah.
a spiritual space for something important, not just treating everything the same.
Exactly, and this idea of intentionality extends to the offerings themselves, too. Leviticus 22 is really detailed about the criteria for animals used for sacrifice. They had to be the absolute best, free from any blemishes or defects.
Right, like, hold on, this lamb has a slightly crooked tail, this won't do. But it goes deeper than just being picky,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It shows us how important the act of offering was to them. It wasn't just about going through the motions. It was about giving something truly worthy, something that represented their very best to God. It was how they showed their devotion and respect.
I'm seeing a theme here. Purity, intentionality, offering your best. These ideas seem to be woven all through Leviticus 22, creating a, tapestry of reverence and dedication.
Yeah, I see that too. And it's interesting to think about how these ancient ideas might translate to our modern lives. What can we learn from these practices that seem, so old-fashioned? How can we apply these principles to how we approach our work, our relationships, even how we contribute to the world around us?
That's where it gets really interesting. Stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore the surprising and I think really relevant connections between these ancient practices and our modern lives. We'll unpack how the concepts of purity, dedication, and offering our best can really have an impact on how we navigate, well, the complexities of today's world.
I'm looking forward to that. It might surprise you how relevant these ancient ideas can be to the challenges and opportunities we face today.
So let's unpack those modern parallels. We've been talking about purity rituals, unblemished offerings, and, well, this big idea of giving your best from Leviticus 22. But how do these old ideas apply to us today?
It's easy to just think about the rituals themselves, but the really cool part is the principle behind them. The idea of approaching something sacred with reverence and preparation. It's about recognizing that, not everything is equal in terms of how important it is. Some things just need a different level of care and attention.
So it's not about literally being clean, but more of a mental or emotional state, like clearing your head before something big.
Exactly. Think about it. Before, say, a job interview or a big presentation or even a tough conversation, we do things to prepare. We might practice what we're going to say, pick out certain clothes, or even just take a few deep breaths to calm down. Those are kind of like modern purification rituals, right? Like they help us get in the right headspace, approach things with the right intention.
So being present, intentional, bringing our best selves to the table, whatever that table might be.
Right. And this connects to the unblemished offerings too. Back then, giving a messed up animal was a no-no. It showed you weren't giving God your best. Today, we might not be offering animals, but we offer our time, effort, talents. At work, in relationships, our creative stuff. What if we approached those things with that same dedication, like the Israelites with their sacrifices?
That's a big question. It's like asking ourselves, if I was offering this to something bigger than me, Would I be proud of it? Would I put my all into it?
Exactly. It's about doing more than just going through the motions, pushing for something better. It's about doing things with purpose, with meaning. And that connects to integrity and accountability, too, another theme from those old purity laws.
Okay, now I'm interested. How does integrity fit into all this?
Well, think about those priests. They had high standards because of their job. They were like a bridge between people and God. What they did mattered. They were responsible for keeping things sacred. In a way, it's like leaders today. Business, politics, even in families, they need to act with integrity. Their decisions affect others, and they have to be worthy of that trust.
It's like a ripple effect. Leaders set the tone, and it impacts everyone, whether it's a company, a family, a whole country even.
Exactly, and that's what's so powerful about these old principles. They're not just about personal stuff or rituals. They're about building a culture of, excellence, accountability, dedication, things that can lift up a whole community. And this brings us to another interesting parallel, the idea of dedication in the work we do and the service we give.
Okay, I'm listening.
Huh?
How does that fit in?
Just like the priests were supposed to approach their duties with purity and sincerity, we can approach our work and service with that same dedication and integrity. It's about, well, recognizing the value in all kinds of work and doing those tasks with respect for ourselves and for the people we're serving.
I like that. It's about finding meaning, even in the everyday things, making them better.
And that leads to another point, the idea of offering the best of ourselves, like how the Israelites were told to offer the best animals, the top of the flock. How can we offer our best effort, our time, our talents in everything we do?
It's like asking if this was going to something bigger than me, would I be proud of it?
Yeah. It's about striving for a level of excellence that goes beyond the bare minimum, putting our heart into our work, our relationships, and our contributions. And it ties in with that integrity and accountability, too.
It's all connected. When we offer our best, we're more responsible for what we do, more invested in the outcome. We hold ourselves to a higher standard.
Exactly. And that cycle, it ripples out. It affects not just us, but the people around us, too.
It's not just about growing as a person. It's about creating a culture where everyone is striving for their best and holding each other accountable.
Exactly. That's what makes these old practices so relevant today. They have these timeless lessons about how to live a meaningful life.
It's pretty amazing how those old ideas from Leviticus about, like, offering your best and acting with integrity, they still matter so much today. It's almost like they were designed to help us live meaningful lives, even now.
Right. The fact that those principles still resonate with us today, even though they're thousands of years old, it really says something,
Yeah.
about how timeless that wisdom is. It kind of reminds us that deep down, people haven't really changed that much. We're still asking those big questions about, well, what's our purpose? What's it all about? And how do we live a life that matters?
For sure. And it's not like we have to make these grand gestures or be perfect all the time. It's the little things we do each day. How we approach our work, how we treat other people, even how we take care of ourselves. It's about bringing that same sense of dedication, that intentionality to all those things, big or small.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine if we all lived that way. What if we saw everything we did, even the boring everyday stuff, as a chance to offer our best, to act with integrity, to push ourselves to be better, not for someone else's approval, but because it feels good to live by our own values.
It really changes how you see things, doesn't it? Instead of just going through the motions, you're actually choosing to be present in each moment, making those moments count.
Exactly. And that's where the real power comes from, I think. It's not about being perfect. It's about constantly trying, growing, becoming more true to ourselves, and realizing that even the little things we do can make a difference, like a ripple effect that goes way beyond us.
This whole deep dive into Leviticus 22 has really given me a lot to think about. It's surprising how something so old can be so relevant to our lives today. Make us think about how we can live better.
It just goes to show how powerful those ideas are. They give us a way to navigate life, to connect with something bigger than ourselves, whatever that might be for each of us.
So to wrap things up, let's remember this. We all have something to offer the world. We can approach each day with purpose, with dedication, and do what we know is right in everything we do. And when we do that, we don't just make our own lives better, we also help create positive change that can reach others. Until next time, keep exploring those connections between the past and the present, and keep diving deep.